Hello and welcome. A few minutes before class will officially start today, but the classroom is open and feel free to jump on in. Let me know you're on board. We'll start in about 4 minutes. If you have any specific questions, now's a good time to ask them. Okay, I have someone in, but I can't see a name. So it'll be just a second. Honey, I have to still check guys' phone in order for me to watch and see the names on the side. Kelly's on board. I thought Mary was on board. Doing real well. Okay, it's Claudia. Sorry about that, Claudia. And Caitlin is here today too. Louise is here. Lovely. And any questions, any comments, I didn't know this, any input that could help me make this challenge better for everyone who's taking it. I'm all ears. And I'm assuming that's Mickey from New Jersey. And Jade from Montreal. Wonderful. Jade, I appreciate the feedback that you're helping give to other people. Because again, that's a great learning tool, is to teach or to give feedback or to help others. Corrine is on board. Just another minute or two. Make sure people get in. Claudia says, no suggestions for improvement. It's been very supportive and informational. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. For those people that I made go back and review the last assignment to put in the actual, this is the specific awareness, this is the emotional response. I wasn't doing it just to be mean or to tear you down at all. Fragile writers have to be extremely separated from their emotions to deal with the process of learning the craft, and then jump back into your emotions to see the possibilities that could happen by doing what you're doing. My attitude is, if I don't point out the areas of improvement, who's going to show that to you? Who's going to let you know that information? I'm not one of those teachers who are going to just pat you on the head, slap you on the face, maybe not pat you on the head, because in my experience, that doesn't help us learn. Claudia says, I think we all want to improve, and constructive critiques is great. I think that way too, Claudia, but I have learned that not all people feel that way. So if someone lets me know, Mary, that's too much, I can back off for that particular person. So Mickey says, we always learn something new here. And Corrine is, I'm learning, and that's why she's here. Great. So let's go ahead and get started with today's lecture. We're going to be looking at specifically at the kiss. And a kiss can signal a major step forward in the level of trust and intimacy. If you look at where a kiss is, it's number 7, stage 7. So already passing the halfway point of the 12 steps. But it increases that level of trust, intimacy, but particularly if it includes a full frontal embrace. Why? Because that's literally body to body, which is it doesn't have an actual one of the stages, but it is more when you're touching your body to body. Carol says she thought she posted exercise 3, but you don't see it. I'm noticing that Facebook I'll go through, I'll finish reviewing everybody I see, and then all of a sudden something pops up from 12 hours ago. So feel free, if you don't see it, to repost. And notice, Kelly, I notice you don't make comments on writing, vocabulary, grammar. You only make comments, read the challenge. Shouldn't we follow your lead? Yes and no. My focus is look at are you able to show or what you might be missing? Other people can give feedback in a constructive ways to others. Be aware that we have a number of writers here who English is their second or their third language. So you may not realize that. To me, if I get down to nitpicky too much, then it can stop somebody and freeze them. You can say something like, loved it a lot, look for whatever the issue is that you're seeing, or pick out 1 or 2 points that can make a difference. But other than that, that's not the focus of the course. Thanks for asking, Kelly. Appreciate that. With repeated kissing or prolonged kissing, both the male and the female bodies are going to become sexually aroused in preparation for full penetration or full sex. This is even if you're not writing sex in the book. All right. So you could stop here for your stages, but the longer that kiss goes on and the more full body, the body's getting ready, and it assumes that the message is, humma, humma, we're going to get together here. So whether you use this stage in your novel as a stage 7 or as a stage 1, because you could have a kiss in stage 1 where you just peck somebody on the cheek or kiss somebody that you were trying to miss their lips, but they kissed the lips instead. So you can use it. The point is, try to make sure that you don't skim over this. It's important to create a reaction in your characters. At one time, back in the caveman days, when a kiss was the only sexually explicit act one could describe as happening between your characters, its introduction into a scene was monumental. Today, when many books require more explicit lovemaking scenes, the kiss for many writers has been brushed aside as almost a non-event. So what? She kissed him. It's going to get a lot juicier. So I'll just save my tension building for those scenes. That's a big mistake. Even in some of the feedback I gave to people in the 3rd exercise is they've skipped over recognizing that they're using parts of the stages, and then they go deeper into the paragraph and then just pick out those points. But every time we're writing and we're saying he grabbed her hand, and it wasn't to help her stand up, or it wasn't to, as a purely aid to assistance or something like that, and we just skim over it, we're telling the reader something's missing here. It's not feeling, and then all of a sudden they get hot to trot. It is going to be disconcerting. So from page 1, you are aware as the writer that you hit any of these stages, even multiple times. If you start skipping over them, or make them very casual, you can do it very quick and light, but to just skip over and make no comment at all, it's going to impact the level of sexual tension in the story itself. Writers who are known for creating sexual tension in their books, they pause and they linger over this first kiss. They give details leading up to the act and details describing the emotional response to the act afterwards. If it is a kiss that was not anticipated by one, then let them have a stronger after emotional response. They let a reader know that an important threshold has been breached, whether it happens before the couple even knows each other or 2/3 of the way through the book. And think of it like this. Go back to your early years before you ever kissed someone. Whatever age you were, whatever situation you were in, a kiss that matters. That was, feel that experience again. That, is it, are my braces going to get caught? That type of situation. So it is that drama that we associate with our early years. But that's that drama that your characters should be feeling if they are really attracted to the other and really want something more with the other. Our characters anticipate the kiss. And thus our readers anticipate the kiss, especially that first one. The characters relive the impact of the kiss, thus our readers can relive the impact. Don't rush through, gloss over, or totally ignore the opportunity to increase sexual tension and conflict when you have your couple reach this stage. So let's look at some examples. Okay, and it sounds like the problem is there in France, in your area. So I can't really do anything except have you sign out and sign back in. Honey? Honey? I put him down to doing, if he comes back, I'll have him post something for Anne. Can you let Anne know? Just try to sign out and sign back in. She's just having weather issues there. This ends in the following excerpt. It's from Teresa Medeiros, and she uses the first kiss, that first reaching of stage 7, as a pivotal point in the character development for the hero in this example. As you read the following, see how she focuses a reader on the hero's experience. He's known as a cold, aloof man, a computer geek, much more secure in the world of logic and reluctant to feel. Given his references, you can also tell that this is deeper into the story. It's not right away. But in reaching stage 7, this is not just a physical milestone in his relationship with this woman. It's a milestone in his growth as an individual. Tristan slowly lowered his lips to hers, knowing even as he did, so that he should be checking her pulse, helping her to her feet, calling a doc. His mouth brushed hers in a sweet, dry caress, an electricity more primitive than lightning arced between them, melting the neurons of Tristan's methodical left brain to mush. Can you see how this is the way he thinks, given his background? Her lips parted without hesitation beneath his gentle probing, dragging a hoarse groan out of him. He pressed his advantage, giving her his tongue and stealing hers away, as he'd secretly yearned to do from the first time he'd held her in her arms. Then there'd been 1,000 witnesses. Now there was only the two of them, wrapped in a velvety fog of darkness that was no longer a threat, but a blessing. Now, this is I believe it was a time travel story, that this woman actually was a witch from Salem. And she escaped on her broom and she got hurled into the future. And she meets this geek guy. So they have two different worlds. But you can see who he is by his word choices. It's not a word choice that the author imposed upon him out of the blue. It is his way of thinking. The next example comes from an historical novel. The hero has joined forces with a woman who is hiding secrets he needs to discover in order to find the man who murdered his wife. Now, Ziona had a question. In my story, there are two love interests. One is a con artist using the main character. I show first kiss from the con artist's point of view and gloss over it because I don't want readers to be invested in this couple's. Absolutely. The main character ends up with the other love interest. I think it's appropriate in this instant. Yes, that's absolutely appropriate. So, and the reader catches that too. That to be aware that if it is a secondary character may want a relationship, but that's not the one the main character wants, you reveal it by holding back. You don't use the sexual tension stages. And if the stage is met, you show it in a negative way. All right, this comes from Amanda Quick. Jake lost control of the kiss. He groaned and crushed her against his chest, full body there. The clinical embrace went from ice cold to red hot and out of control between one heartbeat and the next. The footsteps passed by and faded into the distance, but Jake did not relax his grip. Adelaide was just starting to realize that the storm of passion had become shatteringly real when it ended as suddenly as it had begun. Now, there's a shift in point of view right in there, that we were in his point of view. He was doing the kiss as a we're hiding in the garden type of situation, let the bad guy walk by. But then it changed to hers. So you get both characters' input about this kiss at the same time. Jake ripped his mouth off hers, closed his hands around her forearms, and very carefully, very deliberately set her a short distance away. So this is his emotional response. He lost control. The reader knows that. She doesn't necessarily know it, but she's seeing the aftermath of it. Okay, just a second. I have to let the cat out before it destroys the door. Now, in the next excerpt, Jennifer Cruzy shows the internal conflict of the hero during the first kiss. The heroine has made it very clear. She doesn't want a relationship with him, and he's made it clear that works just fine with him. accept. And it's that accept feeling that Cruzy gets across so nicely as a simple picnic scene changes the relationship for both characters. Her face was beautifully blissful, her mouth soft and pouted, her full lower lip glazed with icing. And as she teased the last of the chocolate from her lip, Cal, the hero, heard a rushing in his ears. The rush became a whisper, this one. And he breathed deeper. And before she could open her eyes, he leaned in and kissed her, tasting chocolate and the heat of her mouth. And she froze for a moment and then kissed him back, sweet and insistent, blanking out all the coherent thought. He let the taste and the scent and the warmth of her wash over him, drowning in her. And when she finally pulled back, he almost fell into her lap. She sat across from him, her sweater rising and falling under quick breaths, her dark eyes flashing wide awake, her lush lips parted, open for him. And then she spoke. More, she breathed, and he looked into her eyes and went for her. So this is where she took the time all the way up to this point in the story of making it clear, nope, not going to happen. Nope, not going to happen. And then at this very relaxed, casual picnic, and she has a donut or whatever it was she was eating, everything changes. Because that kiss, the above kiss we just talked about, is from a male's point of view, it's interesting to note all the way Cruzy let a reader know this was a man responding. Look at the word choices that focus a reader on a male point of view. Words such as soft mouth, pouted, full lower lip, sweet. And then Cruzy also uses body language to tell readers where the heroine was coming from in describing sweater rising, quick breaths, lips parted, open for him. These are very clear sexual signals that this woman's body is preparing for intercourse, even as the reader knows from the whole first third of the book that this woman's mind is putting the brakes on big time. Okay, here's our next homework assignment. So EX4, show a first kiss that matters to either the hero or the heroine. 1 paragraph preferred, but 2 paragraphs max. Plus you get bonus points, or I will point out if it's not there. Hint at the conflict or what's keeping them from taking the action any further. In the exercise 3, a number of people used kind of a temporary conflict, that it was just someone was temporarily upset or just miffed or bothered or something like that. There wasn't going to be a long conflict at all. It could be brushed away. So knowing that the deeper you get into the stages, easy conflict is not going to cut it. So keep that in mind. And if you have lots of or little specific awareness, lots of emotional response, and then no conflict, your example is going to be skewed. It's going to be top heavy in the middle, but light on the end. Okay, any questions at this point? Jade wants to know if the animals are acting up today. A storm's coming. The storm's going to come after I end this and talk to the animals. Remember, of course, to use hashtag EX4 in the posting. Feel free to comment on each other's work, and I'll pick a number of the examples from this homework tonight to talk about tomorrow. I'm not using examples from yesterday's in this particular exercise, but I've gotten through a lot of them. So they're in the Facebook group. Make sure that you take a look and see how other people are doing. So on the good news side, for those who have other things to do, this is the end of the lecture. But for those who want more, in 5 days, we can only cover so many details. And as I said when we started, I can't get to everybody's postings. So what about the other stages of intimacy? How can you, if you want more information, go ahead and stay on board, and I'll let everybody else step away. And if you're already signed up for next month's 4-week class, or this month's 4-week class, because it starts the 20th, thank you. And you don't have to set for this next information because you're already there, and we're going to have a great session. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about this 4+ week workshop that's coming up. It starts March 20th and it ends April 15th. And it's more than 4 weeks because there's information that the minute you sign up, you get access to. So technically it's 5 weeks of information, but 4 weeks where we have homework assignments, where we have feedback, where we have Q&A sessions. What's included here? So it's a deep dive. We have only skimmed through the 12 stages. And I pointed out for some of you that you're jumping stages, that we're looking at eye to body, but you jump all the way to like the 3rd stage or the 4th stage. And that's where having more exercises, more feedback, and more time to understand the information can be helpful. So there's, in the next 4 weeks, starting the 15th, those who are enrolled, you get more time to review the lectures. So you get to go back, you get to pause them, so it's not a half an hour. It is, I try to keep those lectures broken into 20 to 30 minute segments, but it's a whole lot more information to practice what you're learning. There's 38 video lectures to review as many times as you want and at your own pace. Carol, I'll get to how you review here in just 1 second, okay? Appreciate your asking there. There's also this weekly question and answer review sessions with me, where we talk about any challenges that people found or misunderstandings that might be accrued. And there's a whole lot more assignments than what we've done. We've done basically 3 assignments. But again, that's just dipping your toes into the water. So there's examples in the course from about 50+ published authors. So you can find some new authors if you're not familiar with them, but it helps you understand effective sexual tension as opposed to trying to guess, well, I wonder if I've seen this or how they use it. We get an online private classroom. There's 2 classrooms. One is going to be on Facebook, where we do the Q&As and we post homework. The other classroom is where all the material is located. There are handouts, there are lectures, there are examples of each stage by other authors, all in one place. Plus there's quizzes. And the quizzes are for you to have a chance to basically, you've listened to information, let's say on the 5th stage of intimacy, the hand to shoulder. And it's like, okay, I watched these 2 or 3 lectures and the handouts and the examples. Now I take the quiz to see if I really understand the information. I'm not going to look over your shoulder. So it's only you learning. And if you found that, oh, I didn't understand that clearly, so I'll go back and review again, and I'll take the quiz again. And this is the best part. This information is yours forever. You get access to it. So it's not just this coming month. It is next book you write. It could be 6 months. It could be next year. And you want a quick little clarification or a little boost to get you thinking about sexual tension. Now, this is where you receive a 20% discount for being in this particular challenge between now until midnight, March 14th. And that's West Coast or Seattle time if you're overseas. And you save $120. Actually, you save more than $120 because the regular payment is $595 for this course. The discount is $476. That's more than $100 difference. Now, there's a link here. There's going to be a link posted in the file section of the classroom and on the next email to you. So that will get you into where you can register. And then you use this coupon code. And it literally, no spaces between it. It's 5, and it's all caps, day, CHAL, C-H-A-L, not a double L. And it's 2023. Now you can pay in a one lump sum, or you can do monthly payments. So with this, without this coupon, you would be paying $52 a month, which isn't a whole lot. That's for a year to get this forever. But with this coupon, you get that at $42. So basically, it's about the cost of 5 Starbucks drink, depending on what you're drinking there. So it's a core skill. It doesn't matter if you're writing in romance. You can be writing in mystery with a romantic element over a series. You can be writing a thriller. You can be writing sci-fi. That romantic relationship that you can grow throughout a series is why you get the romance readers to read something that is not a romance, because it's the basis of our existence, this relationship. How do you make it work? How do you feel? How does the other person feel? So it's looking at that, how conflict is played out, each of these steps, and how to pace it. So it's 4 full weeks getting the stages of intimacy right for your current project. And because there'll be people in the course who are not writing romance, you'll also see, if you decide to change and write in a different genre, those answers to their questions and feedback. Now, this is feedback from a previous student. I've only had one of these classes before this time, and this was Mary's knowledge, experience, course content, and her teaching style were exactly what she'd been looking for. Because again, we just don't get that many opportunities to learn this skill. And this workshop has been the tool that I've been looking for to move my writing and my characters to the next level. I can't thank you enough. This is real people who've gone through the work, done the work, seen the improvement in their own work, and were kind enough to share. Now, if you have questions, you can feel free to let me know at mary@marybuckham.com. Clarifications, that code to get this discount is good through March 14 of this month, March 4th. Yeah. That's so you have a little bit of time to think about it and see if it's going to work. If you feel free to get a hold of me if you want to have a different payment arrangement. I know it is, even at $476, it's a commitment. But compare it to, I know it's been a while for a lot of people, going to a conference, let's say a regional conference, and you go to the conference and you have somebody talking about sexual tension and you get 60 minutes. Or maybe if you're lucky, 90 minutes. You don't get feedback on your work. And there's only so much time to ask questions. And you've paid for the conference, which normally tends to be about $400 some, and you've paid for room and board, and you've paid for travel and meals out. And there's a lot of benefits to regional conferences. It starts getting pricey though. And then if you go to national conferences like the RWA National Conference, again, you are spending easily $1,000, $1,500 or more, depending on your flight and other issues. So this is a commitment for you. This is an opportunity for you. And those fellow students who are your classmates in this month have also made it commitment. So it can change your game plan. Plus, you're meeting other people who are willing to commit to their writing and learn more, go deeper, and improve their craft. So again, feel free to let me know if you have questions, mary@marybuckham.com, because I know you can create sexual tension that you want for your stories. So any questions here? Feel free to ask, or we can wrap things up. Honey? I think he put his, can you tell me, in the file section, did you put something with the link, or will you put something?
I'm going to.
Okay. Tech Guy says he's going to put
Right now.
that link in the file section so that you can click on it directly. So I hope, I appreciate your being here. I appreciate your listening. Doesn't work for you. I only do this once a year, so I won't be doing it again this year. But it is something that can be a real game changer. There are writers that we read just for their sexual tension, even if it's not in a genre that we normally read. So if there's no direct questions now, feel free to get a hold of me for more information if you need it. Oh, the other thing was the syllabus. I'll kind of let you know. Pre-course material. We're talking about conflict, part 1, part 2, part 3. There's a syllabus. There's 12 stages of intimacy. Donna was in the sexual tension, the last one. And that is, so she knows what she's talking about, and she survived. I think I should give out little survivor buttons. But we also go into all sorts of different handouts and interviews with different authors known for their sexual tension. Carol, the assignment for tonight will be up in the file section of the classroom. It's basically, we're looking at stage 7, the first kiss between your couple. So I appreciate your being here, and I appreciate those who've already taken this opportunity. I think we only have room for 6 more people left in the class. Try to keep the class tight so that everybody isn't overwhelmed with homework, and so that people don't feel overwhelmed with the emails. So there's room for 6 more, and I hope if you're interested, you get a chance to grab one of those 6. Okay, thanks so much, and I will see you in class tomorrow. Look for the homework in the file section tonight if you missed it, and I'll go back to work on catching up feedback for the last homework, but also the previous 2 days. I will not be able to do everybody. I have people who are even now signing into the course, and by the time they're posting their homework, I want to make sure that I get the last homework segment done. So there's homework tonight. I give feedback to you tonight and tomorrow on it. Use it in class for examples tomorrow, but there'll be no homework on the last day. So this homework on the KISS is going to be our last exercise to do. So have a great day, and I'll see you online or tomorrow. All right, take care.